Hi everyone, my name is Bevelyn and I'm here to do another round of vocal analysis, and this time round this video is in response to Sean, who actually asked me to do a vocal analysis of Pentatonix, in particular for this song, Evolution of Ariana Grande, and he really insisted, so I did it. So you never know, if you really want me to do any vocal analysis of any particular singers, please do comment below and let me know, and maybe I'll be inspired too, and help me out with content creation as well. Okay, so if you haven't grabbed my 7 techniques to transform your singing PDF checklist, please do click the link below. And if you like what I say during my vocal analysis, please do feel free to subscribe and also ring the bell. Okay, so let's go. Pentatonix. Very good blending. So the first time I watched this video, I was looking at the female singer, Christy, because I thought, okay, it's a female voice, so I thought she's the one singing. And then I realized that she's not. Did you feel the same? So I realized that it's actually Mitch who is on your right. He's the one who is singing, but he sounds like a female singer, and that's because he's actually a countertenor. So a countertenor is somebody who actually has the vocal range of a female singer. I know, right? That is so super talented. I don't think you can really train for it. There is a certain kind of DNA element to that. So what makes them so powerful is that they can sing, the range of female singers, but they can also sing the range of male singers, like baritone, so. So Scott in the middle is a tenor. Alright, did you hear that? So that was really, really fast, and there was a lot of notes going on. That was difficult for a solo singer alone. So if you're doing this as a group, it is extremely difficult, and that's why. So my takeaway after watching videos by Pentatonix, right, is that they are like a very well-oiled machine, and every single one of them is a very powerful musician. So they almost make me think about like every single little robot combines to form a gigantic, powerful robot kind of thing. Yeah. I'm never gonna change. I'm always gonna stay. Will you call for me? I'm right there. Right there. Right there. One last time. Ooh, the blend. Okay, so did you realize that they have also changed the key already? So one difficult thing about being in an a cappella group is that you must be so good musically, because you really have to pull your own weight. You can't have like somebody who is a very good singer in a group and then the rest of them not so good, because anyone who is not so good will pull the whole group down. It's very, very easy to go out of pitch in an a cappella group because there is no instrument and you're just relying on each other to make sure that you don't go out of key. So if one person tends to go out of key, it is very easy for the whole group to go flat or sharp. All right, so I used to have a joke that I say to myself, like, because I used to be in an a cappella group many, many years ago when I first started doing music, and I used to think that I was a good singer until I joined an a cappella group. Because, I think it's one thing to sing well, that's one thing aside, but to actually make sure you can do blending, because to get a good blending, you got to make sure that every single one has good resonance and good singing techniques. So it is actually not as easy as it seems, and that's why Pentatonix is actually really famous, because each one of them is so good musically, and each one of them is a very good singer and musician. Need to be the one who takes you home. This is the part when I say I wanna. I'm stronger than I've been before. This is the part when I break free, 'cause I can't persist if you wanna keep me. I love Christy's voice. Very clear and bright. So rare to hear basses sing, you know? Did you hear that? That's the bass. All right, so we're gonna talk about our bassist. His name is Matt, and I think he's new to the group, but he's doing a wonderful job. And what I really love about Matt, you know, is that he is not like some bassists in a cappella groups. They tend to use too much D when they sing dum 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 dum. You know, it's you hear a lot of the D consonant, whereas for Matt, you don't really hear that much, even though he does include the D. What we hear more of is actually his resonance, his tone, and that's what makes it so more like a bass, a real bass. You know, I also want to talk about the very good big boxer that we have here. So when you look at Kevin, he's doing all these sounds that sound like a drum, and I just want to say, actually, for the two of them, did you notice that they are seated right in front with two condenser microphones? And that's because if they are really right in front of you, you will hear them, but they can't be that loud because they're after all human, and there are limitations to how loud you can project if you are doing bass and if you are doing big boxing. Okay, you know what makes Pentatonix so good as a group, right, is that other than the fact that they are very, very good musicians, I mean, we all can see that, but it's also due to the fact that they have a very good mixing engineer or a team of mixing engineers. Whatever you hear now, and if you stay with me and watch to the end of the video, you will be able to hear the difference. What you're hearing now is actually already post-produced, meaning that the mixing engineer has already done some EQing. So what he did was he actually filtered out the frequencies that make the bass or the big boxing muddy. So he also, you know, maybe raised some frequencies, you know, to make sure that Matt and Kevin actually sound like real basses and real drums. And this have to be done when you are watching YouTube videos or when you are listening to them live in concert settings. It's necessary for a cappella groups to have very, very good mixing engineers as part of the team. So Pentatonix have a very good team of mixing engineers, and you can see that there are no microphones at the back. Well, we can talk about that later. Let's continue.
You know that I'm greedy for love. When raindrops fell down from the sky.
Do you feel goosebumps?
The day you left me, an angel cried.
Change of scene again. I say it many times already. Wow, the bass.
You can feel it singing someday. Things just take way too much of my energy. I look up in the whole room. Keep breathing, 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 breathing. You know you gotta keep on breathing. Oh yeah.
The light is coming to get back.
That's also rare.
Excuse me, it feels so good to be so young and have this.
Alright, so you can see that they have been changing keys, and like what I said earlier, they are very good musicians, and it's not easy to do this because, for example, you're in song number 1 and you ended off with whatever note you're singing, and then you have to jump into song number 2 going into another note and probably another key. So unless you have very good musicianship, knowing that you are jumping from this particular note to another note of that particular key, and or you can just memorize, you know. But even then, you have to have very good grounding, I would say, very good grounding in music to be able to do that, because a lot of people will just not be able to know what to sing next, even if they memorize. So they are super awesome. I mean, for this video that you're watching now, whoever charted this took days or weeks to actually come up with this arrangement to start with, and then they have to learn the songs. I mean, maybe using days as well, you know, to really sit down there and memorize and practice. It's not easy.
It's fun and be successful. I'm so successful.
Do
Lashes and bottles of bubbles.
I love
Girls
this.
with tattoos
My
feel
favorite
like
things.
getting in trouble. Lashes and diamonds, ATM machines. Buy myself all of my favorite things.
Doesn't he sound like a real drum? Doesn't he sound like a real? Yeah.
Girlfriend, yeah, yeah, 'cause I'm bored. I got a bad idea. Forget about him, yeah, forget about him, yeah, forget about me. Don't want you in my bloodline, yeah. Just wanna have a good time.
So there are different styles and genres
Fake smile.
within this one video.
I can be needy, way too damn needy. I can be needy. Tell me how good it feels to be needy.
Imagine a world like that, world like that. Imagine a world like that.
So what I really like about Pentatonix as well is that they also have 3 singers who can sing very, very well. I mean, you don't see that for every single a cappella group. There's typically just one lead singer or maybe 2 lead singers at best. But for Pentatonix, the 3 lead singers are really pulling their own weight, and they have very unique and individual characteristics. You really seldom see this kind of a cappella groups.
Thought I'd end up with Sean, but it wasn't a match. Wrote some songs about Ricky. Now I listen
So
to
sensual, right? His voice.
even though it's gone late. And for Pete, I'm so thankful. Wish I could say thank you to Malcolm, 'cause he was amazing. And for that I say thank you.
I love the bass.
Ain't got no tears left to cry.
So they're doing overlapping. Alright, so this is the part where you can really get to hear how they sound like in that particular room. Let's listen to a little bit of that, okay?
Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. We love you so much. We have exciting news. We're going on a world tour.
Alright, so
And,
if you
the
compare
US
what you
dates
hear
are
now
out and the tickets are available. There's
to
a
what you
link
hear
below in the
previously.
description box that you can click to get tickets.
First of all, you can hear that the sound is a bit softer, but also when Kevin and Matt were saying something or laughing, the mics were off. So I wouldn't be surprised if there is actually a mic being held over them during the recording, so that the 3 singers at the back can, be recorded better. I mean, I wouldn't know, but I suspect so. But whatever the case, whatever you heard just now was already post-produced, so that's an additional work that must be done, in particular for a cappella groups. Right, so I hope you found this analysis helpful. So whether you are an a cappella singer or not, I hope this adds some kind of appreciation when you watch a cappella singing. Have a good day and see you next video.